Stop buying ice cream until you watch this video. We compared some of the UK's most popular ice cream brands, ignoring the packaging to see what's really inside. We didn't find anything dangerous, but some products were very different from what people expect based on the label. After comparing ingredients, recipes, and price, we found 8 ice cream flavors that impressed us the least and 5 that really stood out.
I am Ivan and I only do honest reviews. Subscribe if you want the truth.
Number 8. Wall's Soft Scoop. Wall's Soft Scoop is one of the biggest names in the British freezer aisle, recognized by millions of families, but its recipe is far less impressive than its packaging suggests. According to the official ingredient list, the first ingredient is reconstituted skimmed milk, followed by water, glucose syrup, sugar, and coconut fat. The recipe also contains whey solids, 4 stabilizers, guar gum, tara gum, carrageenan, and locust bean gum, plus an emulsifier called mono and diglycerides of fatty acids. This is not a recipe built around a rich dairy base with cream as the main ingredient. It uses water, milk solids, vegetable fat, and texture-improving additives to create a consistent product at industrial scale. Per 100 grams, it contains around 180 calories, 17 grams of sugar, 6.3 grams of fat, and only 1.8 grams of protein. The problem is not that sugar or stabilizers make this ice cream dangerous, it's value. A premium-looking ice cream should have ingredients that explain the price, cream, milk, and the recipe focused on flavor. You are paying for a famous brand and a familiar texture, not a carefully crafted dairy dessert, which becomes hard to recommend when supermarket freezers are full of richer alternatives. For a budget ice cream, this may be acceptable, but during summer, when better ingredient profiles are widely available at similar prices, Wall's Soft Scoop is difficult to recommend. Number 7. Viennetta. For many people in Britain, Viennetta is more than an ice cream. It's a nostalgic memory, saved for birthdays and special occasions, and that nostalgia is what drives its success. But the elegant chocolate layers and premium-looking presentation create expectations that the recipe doesn't fully support. According to the official ingredient information, Viennetta vanilla is made using water, sugar, glucose syrup, coconut fat, whey powder, milk proteins, stabilizers, and emulsifiers, rather than large amounts of cream and milk. The recipe is built to keep the thin chocolate layers crisp and the shape consistent after freezing, so it focuses less on a rich dairy base and more on controlling texture. Per 100 grams, Viennetta contains approximately 220 calories, around 20 grams of sugar, and around 11 grams of fat, along with stabilizers and emulsifiers common in processed frozen desserts. When you buy Viennetta, you're mainly buying appearance, nostalgia, and brand recognition rather than premium dairy ingredients. The marketing is arguably stronger than the recipe itself. It remains a British classic, and millions of people genuinely enjoy it. But if you're looking for the best quality ingredients this summer, Viennetta struggles to justify its premium position. Number 6. Cadbury Dairy Milk Ice Cream. Few brands in Britain are as powerful as Cadbury. The purple packaging alone creates instant recognition and an existing emotional connection with the dairy milk name. According to the official ingredient information, Cadbury Dairy Milk Ice Cream contains milk ingredients, sugar, glucose syrup, vegetable oils, cocoa powder, chocolate pieces, stabilizers, and emulsifiers. The recipe is designed to recreate the familiar chocolate experience, but doesn't have the same focus on a rich dairy base found in higher quality brands. Per 100 grams, it contains approximately 220 calories, around 23 grams of sugar, and around 11 grams of fat. A sugar level that highlights how much of the appeal comes from sweetness and chocolate flavor rather than ice cream quality. A famous chocolate brand doesn't automatically mean a premium ice cream. The company behind an excellent chocolate bar isn't necessarily the one making the best frozen dessert. Specialist producers spend decades perfecting the balance between cream, milk fat, texture, and flavor, while Cadbury's biggest strength remains its chocolate identity rather than ice cream craftsmanship. If you want the taste of dairy milk in frozen form, this delivers, but for a genuinely high-quality ice cream experience, better options are available. Number 5. Carte d'Or. Carte d'Or has built a premium image in British supermarkets through elegant packaging and a French-inspired name that suggests a more luxurious experience. According to the official ingredient information for Carte d'Or Madagascar Vanilla, the recipe includes reconstituted skimmed milk, sugar, coconut fat, glucose syrup, milk proteins, stabilizers, and emulsifiers. A premium vanilla ice cream is usually built around cream, milk, sugar, eggs, and real vanilla, which naturally create richness and body. ingredients that are notably absent here. Instead, Carte d'Or relies on reconstituted milk and coconut fat, which is stable and affordable but leaves the product tasting less rich or natural than a premium brand implies. Per 100 grams, Carte d'Or Madagascan vanilla contains approximately 210 calories, around 21 grams of sugar, and around 10 grams of fat. The packaging tells customers they're buying something special, but the ingredient list shows a product designed around efficiency and large-scale production, proving that premium packaging doesn't guarantee a premium recipe. Number 4. Breyers. Vanilla Breyers carries a long history and a huge international reputation for traditional American-style ice cream, but in the UK, the recipe often doesn't match those expectations. According to the ingredient information for Breyers Vanilla, the product contains milk ingredients, sugar, glucose syrup, vegetable oils, whey powder, stabilizers, and emulsifiers. The concern for many shoppers is the use of vegetable oils rather than cream as the main ingredient. Vegetable fats are common because they create a smooth texture at lower cost, but they can feel like a compromise. Per 100 grams, Breyers Vanilla contains approximately 180 calories, around 20 grams of sugar, and around 8 grams of fat. The brand name suggests tradition and the packaging suggests quality, but compared with premium dairy-focused competitors, Breyers doesn't stand out in the same way. For someone looking for a simple, affordable frozen dessert, Breyers may still be enjoyable, but for anyone searching for a genuinely premium ice cream this summer, the recipe leaves too many questions. Number 3. M&S Essentials. Vanilla Marks and Spencer has built a reputation for quality food. So many shoppers assume anything from M&S will automatically have a higher quality recipe, but the Essentials range is designed for affordability, and the ingredients reflect that. According to the product information, M&S Essentials, vanilla contains milk, water, sugar, glucose syrup, vegetable oils, milk proteins, stabilizers, and emulsifiers. A traditional premium vanilla ice cream usually starts with cream or a high proportion of whole milk. Essentials instead uses vegetable oils and stabilizers to create a similar texture more cheaply. Per 100 grams, the ice cream contains approximately 180 calories, around 20 grams of sugar, and around 8 grams of fat, figures that aren't unusual for a supermarket ice cream. The product isn't failing because it's cheap, it's failing because the M&S name can make shoppers expect collection range quality from what is actually an entry-level supermarket product. Number 2. Wall's Classic Vanilla. Wall's is one of the biggest and most trusted ice cream brands in Britain, but being famous doesn't automatically mean being high quality. According to the official ingredient information, Wall's Classic Vanilla contains water, reconstituted skimmed milk, sugar, glucose syrup, coconut fat, whey powder, stabilizers, and emulsifiers. Water being the first ingredient immediately signals that this isn't a recipe built around dairy fat and cream, which normally create richness and a smoother mouthfeel. Per 100 grams, the product contains approximately 170 calories, around 18 grams of sugar, and around 6 grams of fat, well below what a cream-focused recipe would typically deliver. This is a carefully engineered supermarket product designed to be affordable, reliable, and available everywhere, built around convenience rather than craftsmanship. Number 1. Ben & Jerry's. Ben & Jerry's is not a bad ice cream. Millions of people love it for creative flavors, generous chunks, and one of the strongest brand identities in the industry. And that's exactly why it ranks number 1. People are not only buying ice cream, they're buying the brand, the social image, the famous flavor names, and the huge amount of mix-ins packed into every tub. Take one of the brand's most famous flavors, cookie dough. According to the ingredient information, the recipe includes cream, condensed skimmed milk, liquid sugar, wheat flour, cocoa, egg yolk, and various stabilizers and emulsifiers. Per 100 grams, cookie dough contains approximately 280 calories, around 28 grams of sugar, and around 16 grams of fat, high numbers that are expected for an indulgent dessert. The cookie dough pieces and sweet mix-ins create excitement, but they also distract from the quality of the base ice cream itself. Once you remove the additions from the equation, you are paying for creativity, branding, and indulgence, and if that's what you want, Ben & Jerry's delivers, but the gap between the premium price and the actual ice cream base is one of the biggest among major brands. After looking at the products that disappointed us the most, we wanted to answer one final question. Which ice creams are actually worth paying for? This ranking is based on ingredient quality, recipe simplicity, and how closely each product matches the expectations created by its branding, not on food safety and not simply on taste. One thing became obvious during our research. The best ice creams weren't always the biggest brands or the ones with the largest advertising budgets. More often, they were made by companies that still treat ice cream as a dairy product first and a marketing product second. Number 5, Joe's Ice Cream. Joe's makes this list because it follows a much more traditional formula than many supermarket alternatives. Its classic vanilla style ice cream is based around traditional dairy ingredients, milk, cream, sugar, and flavor ingredients, with no need for a long list of unnecessary additions. Some budget products are instead designed around reducing production costs, using ingredients such as vegetable fats, glucose syrup, stabilizers, and emulsifiers, which are cheaper and easier to control at scale. A traditional dairy ice cream gets its texture mainly from milk fat. The more cream and dairy fat a recipe contains, the richer and smoother the final product becomes. Joe's doesn't compete through artificial flavor combinations or heavy marketing. It competes through the product itself, representing a traditional style of British ice cream many large manufacturers have moved away from. Number 4, M&S Collection Madagascan Vanilla. This is one of the strongest examples of a supermarket premium ice cream, where the ingredient list actually matches the price. The ingredients include whole milk, double cream, demerara sugar, dried skimmed milk, pasteurized egg, Madagascan vanilla extract, and vanilla pod. The most important number here is the cream content. The product contains 34% double cream, a major reason the texture feels richer than standard supermarket ice creams. Per 100 grams, M&S Collection Madagascan Vanilla contains approximately 234 calories, 17 grams of fat, 16 grams of carbohydrates, 15.5 grams of sugar, and 4.2 grams of protein. That 17 grams of fat comes mainly from dairy ingredients like cream and milk, unlike cheaper ice creams where manufacturers often reduce dairy content to maintain texture at lower cost. Number 3, Birbeck Ice Cream. Birbeck stands out for its focus on one of the most important parts of ice cream, the dairy base, best shown in its clotted cream flavor. The key ingredient is exactly what the name suggests, clotted cream, which contains around 55% milk fat, significantly richer than ordinary milk. That higher fat content creates the characteristics people usually associate with premium ice cream: a thicker texture, a smoother finish, and a stronger creamy flavor. Birbeck's clotted cream recipe focuses on ingredients such as milk, cream, clotted cream, and sugar, gaining richness from dairy rather than complicated processing. Birbeck has also received recognition from independent food competitions, including Great Taste Awards, proof that a small producer without a huge advertising budget has to succeed through flavor alone. Number 2, Maud's. Maud's earns its position because the product quality is backed by independent recognition. It has achieved more than 50 awards across its range. One of the strongest examples is the pistachio ice cream, which received a 3-star Great Taste Award in 2023 and later won the Golden Fork Award for Northern Ireland, one of the highest recognitions in the Great Taste Award system. These awards matter because they're based on blind judging, evaluating the product itself rather than the company's size, advertising budget, or packaging. Many cheaper pistachio ice creams rely heavily on sugar and flavoring to create a nutty impression, while a better recipe focuses on real flavor, a strong dairy base, and balanced sweetness. Maud succeeds because it creates a product where the main attraction is flavor, not marketing, and it has the recognition to justify its premium position. Number 1. Jude's. Jude's takes the top spot with the strongest evidence of all, more than 100 Great Taste Awards judged by independent food experts through blind tasting. The biggest reason Jude's ranks first, though, is the recipe. A classic Jude's dairy ice cream focuses on whole milk, double cream, sugar, and natural flavor ingredients. The philosophy is simple: use dairy ingredients to create texture instead of relying heavily on cheaper alternatives such as vegetable fats, glucose syrup, stabilizers, and emulsifiers, common in many mass-market ice creams. Premium dairy ingredients create flavor and texture naturally. Lower-cost ingredients are typically used to make production easier and cheaper. Jude's also holds B Corporation certification, showing that the company has been independently assessed for social and environmental standards. The combination of more than 100 Great Taste Awards, B Corp certification, and a recipe focused on milk and cream is why Jude's takes the number 1 position. The product itself supports the reputation.
Like, subscribe, and tell me in the comments what you'd like me to review next.
After comparing all 13 products, one conclusion immediately jumped out. The biggest difference between the ice creams isn't a single ingredient, but the overall philosophy behind the recipe. Some brands prioritize affordability, others focus on convenience, and a smaller number continue to prioritize traditional dairy ingredients and recipe simplicity. None of these approaches is inherently right or wrong, but if you're paying a premium, it's reasonable to expect high quality ingredients. The good news is that such products still exist. You just need to know where to look. So, next time you're standing in front of the supermarket freezer, don't judge the packaging by the brand alone. Turn it over, read the ingredients. You might be surprised at what you find.